Good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, and welcome back to another Good Morning Grief devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. We are here grateful and thankful for this time, this opportunity that God has afforded us to gather together in this virtual space and place on today to lead you in yet another Good Morning Grief devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. That grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. That's why we shout good morning, because morning is indeed a good thing. And I'm grateful, I'm thankful at the opportunity to be able to lead you in today's good morning grief devotion. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 37. This message is straight from heaven. We're going to talk about the weight of what was. The weight of what was. What was has a weight to it. When you think about the loss, the change, and the transition that you've experienced, that you've gone through, what was has a weight to it. And today we're going to talk about very briefly the weight of what was. Let's talk about it, y'all. The weight of what was, the love, the laughter, the life shared may feel heavy. Ah, the love, the laughter, the life shared. It may feel heavy as you navigate through the days and the weeks and the months and the years after the loss, change, and transition. The weight of what was, of what you shared, the love, the life, and the laughter. This is like a weight. It's like it's heavy to carry, considering all that you had and all that has taken place and all that has transpired, right? That the weight of what was, all of the stuff that took place, the life before, everything before the transition, the love, the laughter, the life shared, it may feel heavy. And part of it's heavy because we want it again. We want it again. We want to share that moment again. We want to see that smile again. We want to see that face again. We want that time again. Hear that voice again. Right? Love again. Hear that laugh again. Have a moment again, right? Just for a moment. And so knowing that on this side anyway, right, it can no longer happen and take place. The weight of what was is heavy. But not only is it heavy, also understand it's also sacred. That you carry not just loss, but also legacy. Not just sorrow, but also stories. Went to a funeral yesterday. Got the opportunity to have remarks at the funeral of a childhood friend, somebody I grew up with the majority, of my life, 9, 10 years old, on through middle school, high school, and young adult years. And then kind of lost touch a little bit, but they transitioned and cancer and 40, she was 45, I believe. And this is so true when it talks about you carry not just loss, but legacy, not just sorrow, but stories. And I talked about legacy. I talked about legacy, her legacy to me, and I talked about some stories because we grew up together, right? And so we had um, served together on the junior usher board and the junior choir. Shout out Kiana Griffin. And the vacation Bible school, the Sunday schools, all of that type stuff, going to school, navigating through all of these different things. And it was the training. It was the training. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go. So both of us got to experience this training, being in church and serving and growing and learning and coming up through the ranks. We both got to experience this training, this growing up together. And when I went to go see her in the hospital a couple of months ago, We were talking and I asked her how she was doing, not just physically, because I knew she had the sickness, but I said mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And, she said her faith was still intact and she still trusts God through it all, that she had a firm foundation. And even in the midst of the sickness, right, she trusts God. And it's because of the training that she's able to trust, right? And so the legacy for me is just really sovereign foundations. This is somebody I had sovereign foundation with. The church that we went to growing up together, it's the sovereign foundation, and how important sovereign foundations are, how important it is to train and to raise our children, our kids up, and for us to rely on the training that we had, growing up. And also, it's important to trust, right? It's important to trust God through the trials, through the troubles, through the tribulations. It's important that we trust God. And so for me, yesterday was very just reflective, because I wasn't just carrying the loss of my childhood friend, but I also was carrying the legacy. It made me reflect upon the legacy, and it made me better of how can I take um, my interaction with her, and how can I continue to move through life? How is that helping me through life, right? And it's training, it's trusting, it's sovereign foundations, it's legacy, all of those different things. And the same thing applies to you, right? That you're not just carrying the loss, but you're carrying the legacy. And when you look at somebody's life that has transitioned, what's the legacy? Legacy is not just what you leave to somebody, but it's what you leave in somebody, right? What's the legacy that your loved one left in you, right? What is it? What is it that they deposited within you? What is it that you will remember them by? What's that legacy? Because we just don't carry loss, but we also carry legacy. We just don't carry sorrow, but we also carry stories. And I had the wonderful opportunity to even share stories, few stories, yesterday of just growing up, and and there's so many stories. Of course, I couldn't mention all of them, but there were just so many stories. But just sharing a few of the stories that we had growing up, and so it becomes important when you start dealing with the loss of a loved one. We don't just carry the loss, but we carry the legacy. We just don't carry sorrow, but we also carry stories, right? And so instead of letting the weight burden you, here it is, let it build you. Instead of letting the weight burden you, let it build you. Instead of letting the weight burden you. And I think that's what I did. I'm already thinking. So like this has me even just reflecting on my own church content, and thinking about context, my own church context, and thinking about the sovereign foundation I have, the interactions I had with Kiana and all the other youth, and what are we doing currently where we are, as it relates to that same thing. How are we providing a sovereign foundation? See, when I start thinking like that, I don't let it burden me. I'm letting it build me. When we start to put things in place, and I reflect upon things I may have forgotten or how I grew up, right? When I start thinking about her loss, which makes me think about her life, which now makes me think about how I can implement things currently. That's when you don't let it burden you, but you let it build you. So even thinking about your loved one, right? And it's tempting, and of course you're going to be down. But how do we shift it from this is burdening me to this is building me, right? How do you shift from allowing something to burden you to allowing it to build you? How do you shift from allowing what happened or the loss, the change, the transition that you experience? How do you go from this is burdening me to this is now building me, right? It's important for us to know and understand. Here it is. Also, allow it to shape you into someone who honors the past while embracing the present. Someone who honors the past while embracing the present. And again, like that's my mindset as I move forward. I want to honor the past and embrace the present so that for my life, her death was not in vain. That it really makes me reflect upon the past, honoring the past while I embrace the present and have the wonderful opportunity to even put stuff in place to ensure that the children that God has blessed me with have sovereign foundations, right? So very important. What was is never truly lost. It lives on in what is and what will be. Y'all, that line is so powerful. You got to hear it again. What was is never truly lost. It lives on in what is and what will be. Here's your point of application, y'all. Write down one lesson or value you loved your loved one instilled in you. Consider how you can carry it forward. Write down one lesson or value your loved one instilled within you. Consider how you can carry it forward. Today is day 37. I told y'all this message is straight from the heavens. The weight of what was. The weight of what was. Come on. I hope this lesson was a blessing to each and every one of you. I hope you're able to take it and make it practical, portable, and applicable. Yes, the weight of what was is heavy, and I was so hopeful for a different outcome. Absolutely. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to everybody. Yes. So let's take this. Let's take this. Let's take this. Let's make this word flesh. Amen. And let us walk in it, right? Let us walk in it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all already know every single day we are here, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, helping you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Thank you for letting me be a part of the team. Thank you for letting me be part of the village. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place for another Good Morning Grief Devotion. Good morning.